A moment of silence followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, welcome everyone. Welcome everyone who's watching at home. Trustee Weisenberg is on the phone. He would like to participate remotely, so I'd ask for a motion to allow him to participate.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded.
And he's away on business, so this qualifies for remote participation.
Thank you, counsel, for clarifying that. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, it's unanimous. Okay, we would be at, and welcome Trustee Weisenberg, can you hear us okay?
I can, thank you, Mayor.
All right, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Trustee DeVore?
Present.
Trustee Gatt?
Present.
Trustee Kazam?
Present.
Trustee Reichert?
Present.
Trustee Wigginton?
Present.
Trustee Weisenberg?
Present.
All right, we're all here in one way or another, so thank you. The first item on the order of business is approval of the minutes from the Board of Trustees meeting August 6, 2024. I'd ask for a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any questions on the minutes or corrections?
One thing, Clerk Turner.
Go ahead.
Yes.
So on the back page, Trustee, like 4 sentences up, Trustee Weisenberg made a motion to enter executive session. Trustee Wigginton seconded the motion.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I will make that correction.
No problem.
Okay. Any other corrections? All those in favor of approving the minutes as corrected signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it. We would be at comments from the audience on agenda items. If anyone would like to address, yes, Mr. Lockhart?
On new business, just one question. When we're talking about the lighting, did we ever officially discuss if it's going to be regular lighting, or are they talking the ornate turn-of-the-century lamp post lighting?
Let me ask Mr. Aldridge to give you a good answer.
We intend this, regular lighting would just be wooden poles. So we intend this to be some sort of more decorative lighting, both roadway and pedestrian lighting, and, a decorative lighting system and potential for hanging banners, that type of thing.
Wayne, can you give just a real quick overview on what IDOT is paying for, and that would be like an a la carte option for us, additional lighting?
This would be something, IDOT doesn't pay for certain things in the roadway like roadway lighting unless it's the interstate. So typically that's a responsibility of the municipalities. And if they want something special, they have to ask for it. IDOT may put it in their contract, but we would still have to pay for it. So this is that type of thing. And additional to this request that we'll talk about is there's an area between, as you might know, they're doing a 10-foot bike trail on the west side of the road. And there's about a 5-foot, I call it a buffer zone between that trail and the roadway curb. IDOT doesn't do anything special in there either. So we're requesting funding to do some sort of a stamped concrete or some sort of paved surface in there for aesthetics as well as maintenance in there as well. So,
thank you, Mr. Aldridge. We'll probably come back to you for when we get to the resolution.
May I ask one question? Just the actual specifics of these items are part of the process if
That's
we were
correct.
to be awarded this grant.
Right, we haven't designed or anything else, so that would be, if we do get this money, that would be part of the design process.
And sorry, I know we're
on comments from the audience, so.
Well, what is west side? Is that water side or?
Bluff side.
Bluff side.
Okay, thank you.
Comments from the audience. Mr. Lockhart, that answer your question?
Pretty much.
Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else like to address the board? Come forward to the podium, give your name and address, and keep your remarks under 5 minutes. Comments from the audience going once, twice. Comments are closed. We would be at old business. Any old business coming for the board?
I do, Mayor.
Yes.
in light of some recent things that have been brought to our attention, just with the extensiveness of these developmental projects we've coming on that we've already agreed to matching funds to, the closing of Save-A-Lot and the loss of the grocery tax, when running numbers against our reserves and capital improvements, I have some concerns that I want to discuss about how we're going to pay for some of personnel coming forward with this fire department. I know that we've gone round and round about it, but I don't know at what point job offers are going to be made to these people, but I think there are some things that this board needs to see in full before those job offers are made.
I share your concern, Trustee DeVore, and I believe I answered your email. I mean, I've suggested all along that we have a special session to go over nothing but finances and future commitments. If the board chooses to do that and wants to participate, and I commend you for asking those questions.
Okay, I don't know where we are in the process on when these jobs will be offered.
I did, and I can just say brief timeline, and I have Blake here in the audience as well.
Let's leave those answers to council, please.
Oh, okay.
If it's regarding hiring, we do have Blake Sanchez here tonight to answer any general questions about the fire department, but the council represents the fire commission.
Yeah, well, and we're way into that process, but job offers have not been made and will not be made this week. Probably, I think the way the timeline is running, it would be between 2 and 3 weeks out at the earliest before the job offers could be made. We have to give a period for preferences. That's 10 days. We're doing the post-interview meeting on Thursday afternoon. So it would be a minimum of 10 days from that meeting, and then we would have to have another meeting after that. So I'm just trying to do that math in my head. We're talking at least 2 weeks, more like 3 weeks, before we would even be in a position to make the job offers.
I just some really quick roundabout numbers, just with things like having to fix the drain that we just had to fix. We're looking to be, if you kind of just roughly do the numbers, we will eat through all of our reserves in less than 2 years if we keep on this current path, as we've seen the new cuts. So if we raise the sales taxes, which we talked about earlier in the year, that only gives us about $150,000. So the only other option really is to either put in a public safety tax, or we would have to raise property taxes, which none of us on this board want to do, especially since we know the property taxes already went up. This has been a hard thing to even come forward with, because I am in huge support of this fire department, and I think that this village very first needs to provide service to its people. But I think there's a compromise that we need to look at, and I know that this is last minute and we are down to the timeline, but before we put ourselves in a position that we can't get out of, I just think we need to review it one more time before we move forward.
I thank you for bringing this up, Trustee DeVore. I didn't know you were going to, but I think in fairness, Chief Decker needs to be here if we're going to have a discussion about the fire department.
100%, and I actually would, a lot of this came down to last minute today. I myself didn't even want to bring it up without talking to Chief Decker, but I knew that he was in a meeting already, so I was not able to get a hold of him, so I would like to talk to him myself as well. So I'm not asking for us to make any decision today. I'm just asking that, can we make a decision at the next meeting before we move forward? Is that allowed?
We can have a special meeting anytime within 48 hours.
Okay, so we need to, okay.
Well, I'd like some direction on that. I'd like you to either think about it and email me or call me tomorrow.
Okay.
To have a meeting. We've got a lot of big group to get together, so
Sure.
we may have to make sure it's convenient for everyone and for the administrator to attend, who oversees the finances. So.
Sure.
Any other comments on the special meeting?
I'm all for a special meeting. I think that is our job, to be fiscally responsible, and we wouldn't want to set up the fire department to fail or a community to fail either. So I think it's important and crucial that we look at these numbers.
Yeah, I don't want to say that I don't think that we need to keep moving forward in a good direction with the fire department. I think there's a way to balance both and to continue to move forward and still support them in the way that we have been supporting them. I think that we just really have to nail some things down. Obviously, everyone knows that I'm in support of this department, but I also do not want to hire people and have them be base their livelihood on us and then have to let them go. And I'm very concerned about that, or have to let go other people that already currently have employment within the village.
All right, thank you. Then I'll wait all of your direction, please, within the next 24 hours.
Yeah, if you get a special meeting scheduled sometime before the end of next week, that'll be plenty of time. I mean, it's close, cutting it close, but we won't make a decision before the end of next week.
Thank you, council. Any other old business? Since we're finished with old business, I am going to vary from the normal order of business. Blake Sanchez is representing Chief Decker tonight, so welcome. He is able to answer any questions about the fire department in general if you have them.
Thanks for coming, Blake.
Thanks. Thanks for having me.
Any questions?
Not today.
Okay, thank you. I know you're getting ready to start your shift, so that's why I wanted to make sure we were able to get you in. Let's get right into new business. Resolution 2024-13, a resolution of financial commitment for and authorizing application by the Village of Peoria Heights for the Illinois Transportation Enhancement Program funds for lighting and decorative trail buffer for IDOT Route 29 Galena Road project. Trustee Reichert, I'd ask for a motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve
Second.
Resolution 2024-13.
Second.
All right, go ahead, Trustee Reichert.
I was not going to read that one. I'm actually going to send this over to Wayne and have him explain it, but it's more information on the lighting for Galena Road, so.
So, yeah, this is the ITEP program, we call it. Comes along every couple of years, funded through both federal funding and state funding. So this grant typically funds bike trail expansions, things like this. So it's one of the major sources of funding for municipalities for enhancement type projects. So you might recall that earlier in the year we asked for congressional funding for the decorative lighting, and we're not successful in that, but still we were told it was a good project. So actually we're encouraged on this one by IDOT, District 4, to apply for this funding, again coinciding with their design work on Route 29. So good time to apply. Hopefully we would be successful. This project includes not only the decorative lighting, which I would envision as decorative poles, pedestrian lights of some sort to light the trail, as well as roadway lighting as well. And then again, an opportunity to install banners, that type of thing, and perhaps other technologies that we might find are beneficial with that lighting system. The other aspect that's been added since we applied earlier in the year is this buffer zone. Finding out that IDOT would probably just put grass in there, which who would maintain that? And, you know, I've seen that before and really prefer some sort of paved surface, but in particular, if we could do a decorative stamped concrete or pavers or something else there, that would really enhance the project. So this grant application is due at the end of September. I haven't done one of these for about 15 years of this particular type of grant, but I think with IDOT's support on this project, it's all well underway as far as environmental issues, things like that. I think this would be a good project supported by everyone. So this will, matching funds on this, $3 million overall project, matching funds would be about $600,000 over several years.
And just to be clear, the grant that we applied for but were not awarded, we had already voted on matching funds to $500,000. Okay.
But it was less money coming in a grant though, yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wayne, thank you. Director Aldridge, I attended the presentation that you put on along with Mike with Congressman Sorensen a week or so ago. And one of the takeaways that I had from Congressman Sorensen was the communications that he had and his office had with our friends and the laborers really helped push that forward. And I was wondering if the plan would be to reach out again to the laborers to try to get their support for this project as well?
Typically, we always do that. I mean, that's one letter. Mike Bailey works to help with letters of support. And typically, there's certain ones we know we'll get, and they'll be easy, and that's one we typically go for. So the trades are typically very supportive, of course, of these type of projects, putting people to work. So always rely on that, and they've always come through for us.
Thank you, Wayne.
Anyone else? Madam Clerk?
Trustee DeVore?
Aye.
Trustee Gett?
Aye.
Trustee Kazan?
Aye.
Trustee Reichert?
Aye.
Trustee Wigginton?
Aye.
Trustee Weisenberg?
Aye.
All right, that passes. That's the only resolution we had on the agenda tonight, so we would be at miscellaneous business. Any miscellaneous business?
Mayor,
Oh, Madam
there's
Clerk, I forgot correspondence. I am sorry.
Not a problem. I did have this correspondence addressed to Mayor Phelan, Chief Sutton, Chief Decker, and members of the board. Recently, my neighbor had a severe medical issue. With the quick response and appropriate medical treatment, they saved this person's life. I only know this because I have known this person for over 50 years. Their entire family has lived here their entire lives. I would like to say thank you and a big shout out to all involved in this. It takes a village. From my own experiences, we can all do great things that go unnoticed, but unfortunately let something go not quite right and everyone seems to know about that. So I will continue to be proud of our fire department, police department, and public works departments for everything they do to keep this village a safe and great place to live. Sincerely, Mary Bear, 5016 North Clarendon, Peoria Heights.
And thank you, Mary, for taking the time to handwrite that letter. We appreciate it. Anything else, Madam Clerk?
No, thank you, Mayor.
All right, miscellaneous is still open.
Mayor, I have an item. So I think I informed you several months ago that regional planning had come out with some grant opportunities. One we applied for on Glen Avenue. I haven't heard about that yet. The other was for a parking study, $40,000 for a parking study with no matching funds. I've heard that we will receive that grant through regional planning, so that's good news. Official notice will be coming soon, but it has been approved by the Planning Commission.
Well, thanks to you and Mike, and thank you, Eric Miller of Tri-County, who was also here at the press conference that's Congressman Sorensen held. So thanks, Wayne. Any other miscellaneous? We would be at general comments from the audience. If anyone in the audience would like, yes, Mr. Lockhart.
Stop twisting my arm.
All right.
A lifelong resident, 71 years here. I remember when my parents jumped on board and voted for a bond issue to build a new high school, even though they were still paying on Richmond's, because that's how strongly they felt they wanted school. We had a turnout here when we were discussing the fire department of tons of people. I do not believe it would be asking too much for a referendum or a meeting to say, how would you guys like to go about it? We're possibly running short funds. What are we talking, bonds? You guys want to raise taxes? Get their input. I, for one, I'll pay more tax. I want our fire department. And I'm sure there's others that want it just as bad. So take that into consideration when we're talking about funding. I realize funding's a big issue. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you, Ray. Yes, Ann.
I have another thought. You want $600,000 to help pay forward, our portion of the grant. Why can't that $600,000 go toward the fire department? It's not all of it, but it's you want equity lighting and you want fire department.
Because most grant money is specific, so you have to spend it on what the grant, the purpose of the grant. So it's not a blank check to use that money. There are fire grants available, but that's a whole different. Yeah, so these IDOT grants, that money, just like the money from Congressman Sorensen, that has to be spent on water main replacement. We couldn't use that anywhere else, so they're very specific in how the money is spent. Same way with the money for Prospect, it has to be spent on Prospect.
And I'm not saying by like viewing it, that we aren't gonna still have our own fire department. Like, that's still my goal, so I don't want that to be misinterpreted.
I totally understand it, but when y'all are having your talking, what to do, looking long range.
Yeah.
Take that into consideration. Maybe we need to ask the public for help.
Yeah.
Or put it out there, guys, a couple of years, we might be running short. What's your plan? Do you care if we raise the taxes? Would you be behind it? Raise the sales tax? Would you be behind it?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Anyone else on comments from the audience? Comments going once, twice. Comments are closed. We have an executive session on the agenda, 5 ILCS 120/2C1 personnel. I'd ask for a motion to go into executive session for that reason.
Make a motion to go into executive session.
All right, have a motion, and do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee DeVore,
Aye.
trustee Gatt,
Aye.
trustee Kazam,
Aye.
trustee Reichert,
Aye.
trustee Wigginton,
Aye.
trustee Weisenberg.
Aye.
All right, we are going into executive session. We will return to this room, but only to adjourn. We won't conduct any other business.
Let me just add this to the work bag. It's like another weight. It's just like, it's very lifting.
All right, we are back in regular session. There's no other business to come before the board. I'd ask for a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Ayes have it.
Sorry, Jeff, I'm new.